Hi guys, welcome to Becodewala. Welcome you to the part 3 of our Pinster blogging website that we are building. So I have uploaded the part 1 and part 2 of our backend of this blogging website. So you can go and check out that this is the part 1 and this is the part 2. And in this part 3 we are going to finish the backend part. So we remain with the user controller and the cache files and the routing and the server.js. So these are the files that we are going to see and complete the backend part today. So let's go and write the code for that. But if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and you can check the new projects, that personal portfolio and all I have uploaded here, so you can go and check it out. So let's start with our code. So first of all we are going to create user controller. So user controller.js. So here why we are creating user controller.js. So here you can see that when we view profile, so it is showing me the user profile, that I can follow this user, I can unfollow this user. So when I follow, it show one follower, right, of this user. And who is the follower? I am the follower, I am the logged in user, and following is 0, right? And I can unfollow, and you can see that the follower and following both are 0. And in the profile we have a connection, so here we can get all the followers and the following list. So and we can remove our unfollow user from here, right? And till we have no followers for this account, so here it is showing no followers found. So for this we are going to write the route. So let's write the code for this. So first of all we'll import user model from model slash user. Then we are going to import cache. So cache we have not created yet, but in after completing this user control we are going to create the cache that we are using in caching our data, right? So first of all we have to create a route handler get user by id. So here when we click on this profile icon, right, so it get me to that user id, right, user profile. So this user image, their name, their bio, and that I am following or not, their followers following. So these are the things I am showing to the user profile, user and id. So we are going to build this controller. So to build this controller, first of all we will export controller const get user by id, and then we are going to use async. So we are going to use async await, and then after that we have to write request and response. We have to get the request and send the response. So first of all we'll write in a try catch block, and in try what are the things we are going to do. So first of all we'll check for the cache key, right, if any cache is present or not. Then if it is present, any cache will show, the cache will not call the database, right? So to get, first of all we'll create the cache first. So cache key, so we'll create the cache key first, and there I will create this cache key with this user. So let me write it. So here user colon, so I'll write user colon with the request params dot id. So for the requested user, suppose if I requested this user for the first time, it will call the database, but I will refresh again and again same, then it will show me the cache data. It will cache this data of this user profile, and it will not call the database again and again, right? So for that, so first of all we'll create the cache key with the user id. Then after that we have to find the cached user. So how to with this cache key, if any user related to this cache key, then we have to find the cache user. If you get the user, we'll return the user by rest.json, and no need to here parse here. So just return the json with the cache user, right? And then after that const. So if suppose no cache found, right? No with the user id that cache not found, then we have to create the cache. So how we are going to create the cache? So to create the cache, first of all we have to find in the user model by the id for the requested param id for which we want to get the profile of that user id. Then we have to remove that password. So how we will remove that password? Select hyphen password. So we have to exclude this field. We don't want password from the user document, right? If not user, then we have to show response status 404 json user not found. Then after that, if suppose user found, you have to create the cache key, right? So that if user hit the same profile again, then we have to show the cache data. So here it is going for the 1 hour, but I am going to use for 5 minutes. So this is the 300 second, and this is the user that we want to cache with this cache key, right? And then we have to response the json, right, to the client. So this user will be sent. Then after that, if any error come, so console.error for any error, and for the server error we want to show the client, right, that server error happened, we are not going to get the user profile. So here after that we have to follow a user. So here we are following and unfollowing. So how we are going to write the controller for this? So for that, let's create a controller. So export const follow user, and we are going to use async await. We'll get the request and send the response, right? And to follow the user, first of all we have to write the try catch block. And then here first of all we'll check that here this is the user logged in user, right? So if I view my profile, there is no follow unfollow button, so I can't follow myself. So for that we have to write the code in backend. So request dot params dot id request dot params dot id for the requested user equal triple equal to request dot. So here we have to write request dot user dot underscore id, and then here catch block, right? So here first of all this is the request dot parents id. This is the user with this user that we want to follow. So suppose I want to follow this user, but this is my profile, right? So this is the id, the request params dot id of this user id, and the underscore id for the this logged in id, right? So we'll check request dot params dot id triple equal to request dot user underscore id. If it is both are equal, and we have to convert to the string, right? This object, this is the object id, so we can't compare, right? This is the object, so we have to convert to the string. So we'll write to string, and then we will compare. So and here no need to convert to string, because from the parameter it will come as a string, right? So we are converted to string, then we are matching. If it is match, means the requested user id and the logged in user id both are the same id, then we can't follow, because both id should not be same, both id should be different, both user should be different, right? So after that, first of all we have to find the user we want to follow. So how we are going to find that this user exists on database or not? So we'll find this user profile. So we'll go and we'll find the user profile by, in the user model, find by id request.parents.id. If not user, if this user not present in database, we will give the response, right? 404 not found. Then the current user means the logged in user who want to follow. So await dot user dot find by request, from the request user id, right? And then we are going to use this id to find in the MongoDB database. If user exists, if not current user, let me write not current user, then we have to return current user not found. So after that, we will check that I am following this user or not. So first of all I will const is following. So how we are going to check that this current user, the logged in user, is already following this user? So to check that, we have to go to the current user dot following. So in the model we have created, right, following. So here in the following we have a two users we are following, and these two users have a object id, right? So in this array of an object we are going to check. So current user dot following dot include user to follow dot id. If this id present here, so if the user we want to follow that id is already present, then what we are going to do, we are going to unfollow if we click on that. So if I'm already following this and if I click again, so I'll be unfollowing this user, so that the user id will be removed from the following array. So how to handle this? So to handle this, we are going to use, first of all, current user dot following equal to current user dot following dot filter. So we are going to use filter to remove, and then we have to pass the id. So this id is the all the id that present in our database of the following user array. So in this following array, all the id will check with the all id. So this id is the id present in this following array. So id dot to string, then first of all convert to string, that object id to string, then we'll compare. If it is not equal, then we'll keep it. Then that, and if the id becomes equal, then we have to remove that, right? If id matches, so we have to toggle, right? So this is the simple filter function in the javascript, right? So this is for the following. So now we have to remove the this, I have removed this user id from my following list. But if I have to remove the user I am following, we have to remove from the followers, right? The user we are following. So here, suppose I follow this user, so I'm, this is the follower, so this user has the follower array, and this I am the user that in this follower. So when I am unfollowing this user, we have to remove from the follower list also of this user, right? So go to here and see here we have a user to follow. So this user, and in this followers, the followers, we have to remove that user, the current user. So user to follow dot followers dot filter, and all the id will check with the same, and the here we are going to use current user id with matches, then we will remove that. So the same thing we have done for both the things, just we have to change the user to follow, current user. So here from the following, here from the followers. So with the both the data should be consistent in both the case, otherwise else, suppose if user is following, then we are going to unfollow. If it is not following, we have to follow, right? So how we are to going to follow? So to follow, we have to use current user dot following dot push user to follow dot underscore id, and user to followers dot push current user id. So to user with whom I want to follow, in that follower list I want to add my logged in user id, and the current user id following list, in the following list the user to follow id should be there. So both the cases. So here I am following this user, the follower list, in this user the follower list is my data, and in the following, in the my following, so let me go following. So this in the following, this user id, right? You can see that the username, this user I am following, right? And this user followers, we have a my data, right? And in my following I have this user id. So in my following I have this user data, right? So we have to make the data consistent in both the cases, right? In the both user documents. So after that we have to save. So save the data, right? Then we have to handle the like clear cache related, right? So how we are going to clear? So if related to followers following, user follower to any user id, right? Like logged in or user to follow. So in both the cases, if any cache data is there, we have to remove this, and then we have to, lastly we have to send the response is following. If it is following, we have to unfollow, and is follow, then we have to, this is the boolean, right? So here we are using toggle. So if it is following, right? So if it is true, then we have to make the false false true. So it is a boolean, right? You can see that the following is boolean, and here we have to count the followers length. So user, in the followers we have to count the user to follow followers dot length, and following we have to get the current user following dot length, right? So here when we are following this user, let me go see, when I go and see unfollow 0 followers, follow 1 follower. So this is showing the count, right? And here also it's showing 3 following, I am following 3 users. So how to get that length? So we are going to get from this, right? And after that, in the catch we have to handle the errors, like console error. So we will write the console error and the server error that we found, right? Now let's write the code for another controller, right? Get followers. So here how we are going to get the follower for this logged in user id, all the followers and the following, right? How we are going to get the all the data, how we are going to get all this data, right? For this particular user that logged in, and we have a search functionality else, right? See, and to get this list of this logged in user like followers and following list, so for that there is a very simple controller. So get followers. So let write get follower route handler, then we are going to write the try and catch block, then here write console error and server error, then here we are going to write the try catch. So first of all we'll create the cache key with the followers, right? If for the followers, if any we have a cache data, then we'll find the cache data and we'll return the cache followers. Then after that we have to first of all find the user, right? Find the user who is following me. So we have to get all the data of the user who is like the followers. So here the following we are going to get the profile, name and bio. And so in the followers also currently we have not followed, so the same way we have to get the data like in the following and the followers, right? Just we have to change just one line in both the controller. So we are writing get followers, so const user equal to await user dot find by id, and then here we have to pass the request dot params dot id. So we are going to get the id from the requested parameters that we will write in the front end of this user id. First we'll get this user id, the logged in user id, and then we have to populate with the, let me write followers. Then what are the data we have to get, like name, avatar and bio. No need to write here comma inside of it, name, avatar, bio. So from my followers, so populate what it does. So here in the MongoDB database we are storing the user id in the followers and the following, right? So here it contains object id, but we want that to get the this is the object id of a user, but I want to get the profile picture and the name and bio of this user. So we are going to is populate, right? So we are going to is populate to get the name of our bio from the followers, and it will remove that, replace the id with the document. And what are the data that will get for the that id that present in the followers field, right? For that we have to get the user data who is following me, and then after that we have to write the if not user, if no user, then we'll write user not found, return. And suppose if we get the user, so after that we have to set the cache key, right? User followers, and return the user followers, so that I can send the all my followers detail to the front end. Similarly here we are finding the followers, now we are going to write the following here instead of follower. So same way we are going to write it. So I will write it quickly. So get following, so here to get the this following data here for the logged in user, same way we are going to write, you can see the same request response. Then the here we are writing following instead of follower for the cache key creation. If any cache key present with this, right, then we have to return that cache data. Then if it is not any cache key, then we have to find the user id, right? User from the database. Then we from the following list, here followers. So here we have written followers because we have to get the followers. Then here we are going to get the following list, so here we are passing the following, and we have to get the same thing, we are getting the same thing, name, avatar, bio from this using populate. So we don't want object id, right? So we want name, avatar, bio should be get from that object id. If not user, user not found, and here we are setting the cache for the 5 minutes. Then here we are returning the user following data, right, sending to the client, right. So this is how we get the following. Now we'll remain with the last thing, that remove followers. So here we don't have followers. Login, continue with Google. I will log in with the email. I'll continue and see. I'll follow this user. So I followed this user right now, and I'll refresh my profile, go to the connection. I've got this. Now suppose I want to remove this follower. I have not followed this this where is your user. So we have viewed the same profile pic here, that's why it is showing. Let me change the details here. Star buddy. So suppose this user is following, right. So go to the connection. Let me remove this follow. So I am following this Becodewala, and now I'll go to the connection. I get the one follower pasted body. Suppose I want to remove this follower, right. So for this I want to write the handler. So to unfollow and follow there is separate handler, because it is from my side, right, the follow and follow, but this followers from the other user, right, from the other user side. So we have to write the controller for this separately to remove the follower. So suppose I want to remove this follower, I can click on it and the followers will be removed. So for that we can write the code. So export const remove follower, and then we have to write the async await, and then here we have to, first of all, we have to get the current user ID who is logged in. So try catch, then const user equal to, first of all, current user equal to, we have to get the user first of all, right, that from the client, and then if not the user, then we return current user not found, right. So this is, we are checking that the user is present in our database or not, right. And so I want to remove this, so I can click and remove this. So when I click on this, we have to get this user ID, that to which user we want to unfollow, like remove the follower. So I want to remove this user from my follower list. So first of all I have to get this user ID, that the user is following me. So first of all we have to get the follower ID, and then from the request params.id, and after that if follower, so how we are going to remove, like filter function, right. So current user dot followers. So in the current user and in my follower list, in the follower array, I will check all the ID. If the ID matches, then I will remove that ID, and if ID does not match, then that ID I will keep. So if ID matched means the this ID to which I want to remove the followers, and that is present in my follower list, then I will remove this because it is present. So I will remove that user from my follower list. So here we are converting ID to string because it present as object ID in the following. So here is a following C object ID, right. And after that we have to compare with the follower ID, that to which user we want to remove. So this user ID we want to remove. Then after that we have removed, so we have removed from our follower list. So we have to remove the from the following list of this user, right? This user who is following me, we have to remove the following list of this user. So for that, let's write the code for this. Const follow our user, and we have to get from, first we will find the that user from the database if the user is present, right? So if that user is present in our database, that user, the follower, right? If it is present in our database, first we will check with the database, that is the good way. And here, if the follower user dot following includes this user id, that is which is logged in, if this logged in user id is present in this my followers following list, so my follower user dot following list, in this, if my current user who is logged in, if my id is present, then I have to remove that. So we are going to use the filter. Then we have to save the follower user. We have saved the follower user, but here we have to save the current user also, right? So await current user dot save, right? Then we have to delete the cache if any cache is there, because after like we have updated the database, right? So we have to update, we have to remove that the cache, so that it will create the new cache with the new data that is present in database. And then we have to show a message that remove successfully, right? JSON follow removed successfully. So we can send this message, and then after that we can handle the console error, right? Remove follower error or server error. So this how we have written our user controller, right? So next we can write our utils file. So for utils file, we'll include the cache configuration utils files. So there we'll write the cache.js. So cache.js, here we'll import first of all node cache from node cache. So this is the node cache library that we are going to use for the in-memory caching. And then we have to write the create the instance, the new node cache, and here it is saying stdttl. So this is the time. So how much time you want your cache should be live. So after this 300 second means 5 minutes, our cache will be removed. And this check period, what it does, so every 120 second means 2 minutes, it will check the like expired cache key, and it will remove that expired cache key entries, right, from the memory. So for that we have written the check period and std for the how much time I want my cache to be live. So and then we have to remove like export cache, export default cache, and this cache we are using already we have implemented in our controller, right? So now we can create routes. So routes, so we'll create routes here. So for the different route like auth routes, post route, and the user routes. So first of all I will write auth routes dot js, where we'll write all authentication route. Then we'll write the post routes dot js, then we'll write the user right unfollow and follow that. We have to write the routes, we have to use that controller, right, that we have created, user routes dot js. So first of all we start with the auth routes. So in the auth routes, so we have created in the controller, right, all this controller upload author, right, and the update profile, like recent email verification and register. So for this we have to assign to a particular, right, particular URL, right. We have to create the route for that, right. So at what route all these functions should run, right, all the controller functions. So first of all we are going to create group route from using Express. So we will group all the auth routes at a another at a particular auth, that in the server that we are going to use the server.js, and there we'll write our use this group route. So for the auth route we are going to combine in a separate group, for the post route we are going to combine in the separate group, and for the user route we are going to combine all controller in a separate group, so that it will be easy to manage and identify. So then we are going to import passport. So passport from the passport, so let me import everything. So here express from the express, passport from the passport, that we have installed the passport library package and this express. Then upload middleware for the uploading our images, right, for the profile and all and the post. So for that we have used this upload email that we have created in the part 1. Then after that we have imported all the controller that we have created. So in the auth controller we have created register, verify, email, recent, we are exporting, right. So we have to import, right. So this is the name export, right. In the curly braces we are importing all the controllers that we have created from the auth controller. Then middleware, auth middleware for checking the user is, like, for the authorized user. Then how we are going to create the group route, how we are going to combine all this in a group. So to combine all this controller in a group we are going to use express.router, that will create the group route. Then after that we can start writing our router.post. So we are going to use this router, and in this group we want to add the post method. So here we start writing our method, right. Like post means we are sending some data, right, while registering, right, user is sending data like email name, right, to the backend, and to this URL register slash register to this URL, and register, this is the controller that we have passed, and this is the path, right. Then we have to write for the login route also, for the login controller. Then we can write for the, first of all, the Google. So for the auth, so I'm not going to use this. So first of all I'm going to write for the verify email, so that it will be in a manner. So router.post, then we can write verify email, verify email, and then we have to pass this controller, then recent verification. And so here we are using get method to get the all the, like, authenticated with the Google. It will show your Google account and scope, profile and email, what are the things that our backend take the data from the Google. And then we are going to use the auth callback that we have created here. Where is your auth callback? In the auth controller we have created the auth callback, Google callback, right. Here while login with the Google we are creating our JWT token secret, right, the token, and we are passing to the client URL, right. Dot Google callback, and then we are going to use passport that we have configured, right, in our config file, the same with the Google. And session is equal to false. Why we are writing session false? Because we are creating our own JWT token and we are setting our expiry and everything. Then Here we can pass one more thing. If anything fail, then we have to redirect to the login page. So /login. So if any error comes, then it will redirect to the login page. So for that, and here we have passed the Google callback. So after that, we can write the forgot password route. So forgot password, then a reset password with the token, and here after this we can pass the protected route. So and here also in the recent verification, who can resend the verification, we can also we can protect that route, right? And recent verification, verify email, login. So verify the email, we have to like protect that route, and login register is okay. So forget password, then reset password. Then to get the profile, we have to write the router dot get profile with the protected. So we are pass the protect middleware, update the profile, and then to upload a single author, right? Profile picture updated, and then we have to export the router, this group router, and this group router we are going to use in our server.js, and will assign to a route, right? So after this we have written all these things, then we can go for the other routes. So post route. So in the post route, what are the things we have to do? First of all, we have to import all the necessary thing that we need, like Express and protect middleware, so that only authorized user can like like get their bookmark post, update the post. So for that we need protection of that route, so we are going to use protected middleware. Then upload the picture so of that post, then we are going to upload middleware. Then here we are importing all the controller that is created, and like get post, update post, like post, delete, bookmark, and get post by user, and the get draft post and upload image. So we are going to create in a group route. So what are the public route? So like get post, all the posts can be seen by the public, right? Public can get the post details, right? So this how we can write, right? So I have already written for this, so I will just show you by like copy and paste. So I have already written. So here you can see that this we are going to create the post. So who can create the post? Who is logged in? So we have to protect, we are going to use protect middleware, right? And this protect middleware, what it does, it check for the authenticated user. So if you not watch, you can go and watch the part 1. I've explained the protect middleware. And then here the get post, so all the post can be seen by the all the user. So this post can be seen by all the user, right? If I am logged out also, then I can see the post, right? And I can for view the details, but if I try to like, then I have to logged in, right? So where we need to protect our route, we can define here. To update the post, we need to log in. So we have to protect this, we have to protect the delete post, like the post. So we have to use the protect middleware, who can comment, only the logged in user can comment, only authorized user. So get the post by user, right? So who can get the post? So here you can see that all the post by the user, right? You can view the profile of that user, that will see in the user outs, right? And get the draft post. So draft post will be saved, but it will not be public. So only the logged in user can view. So the we have used protect middleware, and here we are writing like here upload. So here who can upload the like update the picture here for this post? Only the logged in user, right? So if here I will go, no edit option is showing, right? Because I have to logged in first. So and this post is like created by other user. This post is created by other user. So I have to log in and I have to create a post. So this is the post created by me. So I can update this post by login. So and now it is not showing the edit button. As soon as I will log in, so it will show the edit button, right? So now if I click, you can see the edit button. I can update this post, right? So for that, and export default router. So this group router we are going to use in our server.js. Now similarly for the user routes, so for the user routes we have to import the express for creating group routes, then auth middleware, right? Why we are using auth middleware? So this middleware we are going to use for the follow a user, unfollow a user, who can follow and unfollow a user who is logged in. So for that, then here we are importing all the controller, then we are creating our group route using express.router. Then to this group route we are assigning all the controllers to a path like get user by id, get id follow, so you can follow and follow user who is logged in. So we have protected this route, right? So we can protect this route using protect middleware. Here we are removing the follower, who can remove the follower who is logged in, and get following data and the follower data publicly. So we don't want to protect. So here the follower and following data can be seen by the like public. So public can see the that follower and the following data. So if you want to protect, you can protect it also using protect middleware, right? So we have completed utils, routes, model, middleware, right? Config, controller. So now server.js, right? So how we are going to create the server.js, the main file. So in the package.json also we have written server.js. So this is the main file that we have to write, and this will complete our backend part of our blog website, and then we will move to the front end. So first of all, what are the things that we need in this? So we have to import. So go and import. We need express to create the server cores to protect like our data in the backend. So we'll allow the particular origin urls that can access our backend data. So with this course we are going to protect our backend data. Then .env to get all the env secret keys from this .env file. So we are going to use .env. Then cookie parser to pass the, so whenever client sends the request, so cookies comes, so to pass that cookie we are going to use cookie parser. So express session, so whenever user like login, suppose you login with the google, so we are going to create a session. So when the user will log out, so the session will expire. So for that we are going to create the session. Then passport for initializing our google. So whenever we click on the google auth, it shows all the pop-up, right? So it go to the google and initialize all the configuration that we have written. So to initialize we are using passport. Then here connect db to connect to our database. Then auth routes, post routes, and the user routes. So these routes we have created, right? Auth routes, post route, user route. So this all the routes we are going to import. Then in after that we have to import the config passport.js. So they are the configuration that we have written, right, for the Google Auth. So for that, so how we are going to use, so first of all, import .env. You can write this .env on the top here, that will be better. You can write this .env on the top. So you can import the all the necessary .env configuration that we need. And if, because if you are using any secret key in this any env variables, so before using we have to use this .env, so that it will get all the variable that .env values, right, all the environment variable values, and that can use by our server.js. Now we have to create the our express server. So app equal to express. Then after that we have to connect to the MongoDB database, connect db. Then this connect db that we have created in our configure in our db.js in config file in the past part 1, you can go and watch if you are not watch. And after that we are going to write some course configuration. So what is this course configuration? So here using app level middleware. So to all our, so here the server, the no express server that we have created, so all for all the routes, so app.use for all the routes we have used the course. And in this course we have passed the origin function, that it take the two parameter, their origin and callback. Then after that we are passing the allowed origin. So these are the origins that we are allowed. If you will not write this origin, so I am logged in and I'm I'm can write the post, right, I can view my profile. So how we are going to do the performance, right, this all the things, right. So I'm getting all this data, this you can see that the data, all the post. So because the backend is allowing me this URL localhost 5173, so backend is allowing 5173 here. So backend 5173, right, allowing the 5173 localhost, right, this is the localhost frontend URL. So this is the frontend URL that the backend is allowing to access the data. Here we have passed 5173. You can pass multiple URL to which you want to allow your data to be sent. And here is our this domain that where we have deployed our frontend. So on the Vercel we have deployed. So this is the link we got on the Vercel. So that frontend URL also we have allowed. So these are the allow origins where our data should be sent. Then if all this origin include, right, then we have to pass in the callback true, then the allow the request. So if any request come from this any of these three front-end URL, like edit the post, delete the post, like profile, so we'll allow that front-end URL to perform all the request. If it is, if any of these three other than these three front-end URL is requesting, right, any other URL, so we have to reject that request by using passing the callback with the new error, right. And we are passing the credential to means allow cookie to be also sent. So for that we pass the credential to. Then after that three important middleware we have to pass to the our express server. So here we are passing express.json, so it will convert to the JSON, it will pass to the JSON whenever the request come, and it will attach to the request body, so that we can get from the request body we are taking the name, email and everything while user is submitting the form. Here the express.url encoded, it passes the URL encoded data forms like suppose it's coming with the username equal to John and email equal to John 40example.com, so it like a URL. So if it is coming URL encoded data, then that time this express URL encoded will be helpful. And extended true means it can pass the nested object, right? So for that we have pass use the extended true. Then cookie parser. So cookie parser middleware pass the cookie from the request header and add them to the request.cookies. So for that we have used cookie parser. Here we can create our session middleware. Here passing our session middleware, and we are creating the session secret. We are creating our session, and we have made the reshape also, that if any data changes then only we can save. And here we have passed the Node.env equal production. That time the cookie will secure in the production, and the max age for the cookie we have set the 24 hours. And then if you want we can add it, and if you don't want we can use the another method. So after that we have to passport middleware. We have to use, first of all we have to initialize the passport, and use the passport dot session. We are going to use this session in our passport, like when we log in with the Google, so it will create a session, right? And after that we have to write our main thing, that is routes. So all the auth routes will be whatever the auth route that we have written here, like register slash register login, right? Whatever the slash login with the login controller, right? So it will initialize with this. First of all it will come with the in the starting it will come with the like prefix, like slash API auth /API auth and then slash register. So this slash API auth come as a prefix to all this route that you have created in the auth routes, that is the in the group you have grouped, right? So similarly for the post routes, all the post route, it will API slash post will come as a prefix, so that it will be very easy to manage each routes and identify the work of different route. And here for the users, and then here we can start our server. So how we are going to start our server? So we'll get the port from our .env. If it's not present then we'll use the 5000, and the 5000 port we have to start our server. So how to start our server? Express server app.listen, then this method it will get the port, the 5000, and it will return a callback function, and it will show in the console server running on the port 5000. So this how we have completed our backend of the blog website for the mail DB configuration for the passport, auth controller, post controller, user controller, auth middleware, post upload middleware, here user model, post model, then all the routes, then the node cache configuration, right? And you can see the package.json, what are the things we are using. So we have completed our backend part. In the next part we'll continue with the front end, and we'll test our all the functionality later on. So we'll continue with the front end part in the next tutorial. So hope you guys like the tutorial, and you can get the source code in the description, and we'll meet in the part 4 of our blog website. So see you in the next part. So thanks for watching. We'll meet in next tutorial.